Well, good afternoon. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Just dandy.
Yeah, I'm already in a pissy mood.
Oh.
I wasn't. I am now.
Is it my fault?
No. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Project Arrowhead. I'm hearing myself in the background.
Yeah, Keith.
I turned it down. I'm doing 8 things at once.
It's all good. It's all good.
Welcome to the Tuesday, September 14th edition of Project Arrowhead. And don't forget, Project Arrowhead is brought to you by the Lansdowne Pub, the Mohegan Sun's #1 spot for dining. Stop by and visit the Lansdowne Pub, open 7 days a week. Great food, great entertainment. Specials on the weekend, steak and seafood specials. The Lansdowne Pub, located on the upper level of the Mohegan Sun Casino. And when you're done eating, come see us over at the Vista Lounge. Dance the night away at the Vista Lounge. Always a great DJ on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Full dress attire is mandatory. That means no hats, no athletic wear, no sandals. Dress to impress, and come see us at the Vista Lounge.
What about a nice hat?
Okay, I should rephrase that. No ball caps.
There we go.
No ball caps. Dress code is fully enforced.
Are you looking for a used car? How about auto repairs for your current car? With their diesel-certified mechanics, stop in and get your car or truck fixed at Thames River Motor Cars. Located at 2090 Norwich New London Turnpike, Uncasville, Connecticut, just a half mile from the casino. Stop in and see the friendly folks at Thames River Motor Cars.
There's a new transportation service coming to New London County, Dunn's Non-Emergency Medical Transport Services. Founder and owner Christopher Dunn has over 32 years working as a healthcare provider in many varieties of medical facilities. He has over 31 years in pre-hospital emergency medicine and is still active as an emergency medical technician. Mr. Dunn has united a group of experienced, hardworking, and responsible healthcare and EMS personnel to form Dunn's Non-Emergency Medical Transport Services. Let them take care of your transportation needs. So, it's been a while.
It's been a hot second. I think for those of you who don't know that we're in, the area of Connecticut that we're in, because I don't know where all of our listeners are listening, but we keep having COVID scares, and people keep getting exposed and then having to test, even though they're vaccinated, so it kind of puts a hindering on our show. If one of us gets exposed, we don't want to pass it on to anybody else, so, yeah.
Yerp.
Sucks.
Yerp. So, this past weekend was the first weekend of the 2021 NFL season.
Technically Thursday.
Well, yeah, Thursday. And I was happy to see tributes to 9/11 instead of the other crap that they'd been pulling over the past few years.
Yeah.
It was nice to see. There was some great tributes, and football's back. It's about time.
It's back, baby! I was excited.
Yeah, how you?
It's like really back, though.
It's really back.
I mean,
fans in the stands.
I have tickets to go to a game this year.
Wow.
I know.
Let me guess, Dallas and Patriots.
No, close.
Ooh.
Close.
Who?
Dallas and Giants.
Oh, why you want to go see them lose?
Well, not both teams can lose, so. Yeah. It'll be good. I've never been to an NFL game before, so I'll be excited. I am excited.
It's pretty cool.
It's the December one, I think, or November.
It's all right. I go see them. My family's got season tickets to the Patriots, but I'd rather watch it on TV.
The Patriots. Why?
Because, it's all right to go to like one game so you can say you were there, but you really can't. You don't know what's going on the field. You just see more of what's happening when you watch it on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like hockey. Hockey, you don't miss a thing in hockey.
My brother was just at the Jacksonville game. Was it the Packers? Or they moved it. They moved the game to Jacksonville because the New Orleans stadium got.
Yeah, that was New Orleans and Green Bay in Jacksonville.
Yeah, yep. So they were on the green, the field, if you will, right behind the cameras.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'll tell you about that connection later.
So, I've been working a lot. Not complaining. After being furloughed for, a year and a half.
I know.
It's good.
Hey, Keith, I can still hear us somewhere in the background.
I know, so can I. So,
Yeah, I fixed it. Sorry.
Thank you.
we may have some computer issues.
Uh-oh, why?
Don't get me started. If we do, we may drop for a second, but we'll be back. And,
We think a squirrel's been chewing on the cable lines outside, and the cable company told us that our signal dropped, fell out of the sky and came back up. And they're coming out tomorrow very quickly to take a look to see what's going on. So maybe we'll have squirrel stew tomorrow.
Ooh. I'll pass, but cool.
Yeah. So this past Saturday was the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and it just seems like it was yesterday.
I know.
It was, yeah. So, if you want to give us a call, feel free to give us a call and tell us your 9/11 stories.
I will say, and I didn't post it this year, and I usually do post it every year. I really despise when people comment on anything on 9/11, like September 11th, because you have, so many different days of the year, 364 to be exact, to talk about conspiracy theories and...
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Well, not even conspiracy theories, but just other things that maybe have stemmed from 9/11 that day, or, negative impacts of certain things that have happened that day. And you can have that opinion, that's fine. But I think it's super disrespectful for people to talk about that stuff on September 11th when so many families are still dealing with the grief and not even just, yes, families, but, EMS, firefighters, police, people that were there and survived. They don't want to hear that stuff.
Are you following for comments?
Am I what?
Comments?
Yes, on
Okay.
YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
But I haven't seen any, so.
All right, I just I just thought about it, and like I said, I'm tired. I've been working a lot. Hey, if you want a job, apparently people don't want to work. Looking for security at the Vista Lounge and the Lansdowne Pub. If you're interested, let me know.
You touched upon my beer run, but we'll save that for later.
Okay. You have to be responsible. You need to show up for work. And when you're there, you need to work. But apparently, we'll get into that later on the beer run.
Yeah. So we want you to tell us your stories of 9/11 is one of those things that you just, as long as you have a memory, you know what you were doing on 9/11, how you found out about it. So we want to know how you guys found out about it. You guys can call in 860-626-5193, or you can comment. We'd love to hear from you. We can tell you how what our stories are. I know for myself, I was in the 6th grade along with my brother in Meriden, Connecticut, and I was in health class, and I was trying to look up information on the internet, and back then it was obviously 2001, and the internet was not the greatest, but all these pop-ups kept popping up while I was trying to, not pop-ups, but like the news or whatever. And,
Pop-ups.
Yeah, I think it was pop-ups back then. But
Right.
I went to go get my teacher, and she like freaked out because I think she had her son or somebody worked either in the towers or near the towers.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I felt bad because I was the person that kind of spilled that news to her. And then all of a sudden we had like an announcement come on, and then not that they canceled classes, but we went into our like groups. So like in my grade, 7th grade, there was like 3 groups. Mm-hmm. They put all of the groups together in like these 2 rooms.
Yep.
And they shut off the lights. They got super serious. They split us up and basically were like, anybody who has family who lives in New York City or whatever, go over here. And everybody who doesn't, go over here. And my brother was the idiot that was like, oh yeah, I know someone. And then he went over there. I was like, get over here. Like, stop it. But anyway, so
segregation.
They did segregate us because I think they obviously want to be more sensitive to those. I know I had a couple people who's lost family members in that, and they just kind of broke it down for us. I mean, we're in 6th grade. I mean, I don't know, like I probably just turned 11 or 10 or something like that. So I just turned 11. So how do you explain that to an 11-year-old who's just kind of figuring out the world for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I remember. And I do remember that day, my sister didn't get off the bus. And so on top of the terrorist attacks happening,
Yep.
and not only because it wasn't just in New York City, but Pennsylvania and Washington, D.C., mass hysteria is going on because my sister didn't get off the bus that day, and my mom's freaking out. Like,
Sure.
Where is she? Like, what, did something else go on that I don't know? It turns out her father, I guess, picked her up or forgot to pick her. I don't know what happened. But to be a mom and also not have your kid on such a terrible day, I can't even imagine what went through her mind. But that's where I was. Middle school, 6th grade, Thomas Edison Middle School. And that's what I remember from that day. How about you?
My day was a little bit more hectic. Obviously, I was working at American Ambulance at the time. And my partner, Mark Diacetes, and I, we had just gone and picked up our first patient of the day. And I think we went out right at 8 o'clock. And we got to Bacchus. Got to Bacchus Hospital a short time after the first plane had hit. And we at this point, we still didn't know what was going on. One of my friends that worked in the emergency room, he used to work at American Ambulance. He came up to me and he goes, well, it's going to be a long day for FDNY. I said, why? And he said that a plane had hit the Trade Center. Mm-hmm. And there had been a history of small planes. I believe 2 of them had hit the Empire State Building. So I'm thinking the same thing he's thinking, that, oh man, somebody screwed up.
Oh, you mean just like a pilot
Error or something.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So we dropped our patient off in the room, did our turnover, and I looked at Mark. I said, let's go over to the waiting room and check out the TV. So we go in the waiting room at the hospital, and people are just all gathered around the TV, and we're watching, and you can see the fire. And I said, the first words out of my mouth were, holy shit, that was not a small plane.
Right.
And nobody really knew at that point. And as we were standing there watching, the second plane hit the second tower. and you could have heard a pin drop in that room. It was just like, are we really seeing this? Did we really just see that? So I went back into the emergency room, and I said, Mike. He said, what's up? I said, a second plane just hit. And he like got like really, you could see his facial expression change. He says, are you kidding? I said, no. A second plane just hit the second tower. And I said, it tore right through it. I said, it was one hell of an explosion. And he looked at me, he goes, and this is no accident. I'm like, it didn't look like it. I said, it flew. And he asked me, he goes, was it a small plane? I said, no, it looked like a jet. So he ends up coming out there. And at that point, that's when they showed all the different angles of it. And you could see the jet turn and fly directly into the South Tower or the North Tower. Which one was hit first? Was it the South or the North?
I don't remember.
Okay, anyway. So at that point, our pager started going off. People are freaking out. And I'm like, all right, something's going on. We all got called back. And so we ended up going back to the ambulance building. And I mean, we've got like 26 ambulances on the road. So they're like, all right, you guys are going here, you guys are going there, you guys are going here. And we're like, well, what exactly is going on? And they told us, it looked like the planes were hijacked. 2 of them were flown into the buildings. And then the Pentagon got hit. Now it's just like sheer panic. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's, scrambling for TVs, for the radios. And
Sorry. Had to fix your mic.
Sorry.
What made it even worse was, like I said, Mike Diacetes and I were together that day, and we put it on the radio, and there were reports of like car bombs going off and just all this different stuff going off all over.
Mayhem.
Oh, there was a car bomb here, there was this there, and there was never any car bombs. So it was just sheer panic, stories getting twisted, and so we ended up, obviously we couldn't just stop. We had to continue to take care of our calls and everything. Mm-hmm. So Mark and I ended up in Groton, and I think we were at the Groton Regency going in to pick somebody up. So we go in the room, and the guy didn't want to go to the hospital. He was a veteran. He did not want to leave his TV. So, we talked to him a little bit, and as we were talking to him, the first tower came down.
Ugh.
And it was just, nobody said a word. It was just absolute quiet. I looked at Mark, and we didn't have to say anything. We knew the firefighters were in that building, because both of us were firefighters, and we knew we'd have been in the building. And the person we were picking up, the guy that was a veteran, he was
detected at the front door.
He was just crying. He was literally sitting there crying. So we got him all set. We finally got him on the stretcher, and we were getting ready to go. And before we walked out the door, the second tower came down. And he went from being solemn and quiet to just being absolutely outraged. So we get him, and we drop him off at L&M. And as soon as we dropped him off, they called us back on the air. And we ended up having to go over to the sub base and park the ambulance and stand by outside the sub base because there was a rumor that the sub base was on one of the targets.
Oh, jeez.
So now we're sitting there, and I'm just like looking up in the sky, and I was like, wow, they're saying that the sub base is a target, and here we are sitting here, and
I'd be like shaking. I'd be like, what?
we just sat there and we listened to, I think he had NPR or some news channel on. And, I mean, everybody was just panicking. You could hear it in their voice. Nobody knew what to do. We've never seen this before. Nobody knew how to react, what to say, what to do. So we're listening to it on the radio. And again, like I said, there's all these different stories. And we had ambulances parked all over. We had ambulances outside of EB. We had ambulances outside of Pfizer. We had, obviously, us outside of the sub base.
Right.
And my pager was going off at that time. I didn't have a cell phone.
I don't really think many people did then.
Right? Or I might have had one. I honestly don't remember. So my pager was going nuts. And I said, Mark, I gotta call home. I said, my pager's going absolutely insane. Well, I call home. I hear crying in the background. I'm like, well, what is going on? Well, my daughters had seen the crushed ambulances and fire trucks. And I'm getting all emotional thinking about it. And they were worried that I was there. And I'll never forget that.
Oh, that's terrible.
Our day continued pretty much sitting there. We did have to do some other calls, and I mean that's like a blur. After sitting there, that was a blur. And every year after that, when Mark and I always requested to work together on 9/11, and we did. We were always partnered on 9/11, and then I left. And unfortunately, a few years after that, Mark had an aneurysm and passed away. And he was, I think he was 30-something when he passed away.
Wow.
And so we have a memorial page for him on Facebook. Well, his family does. Mm-hmm. And every year on that date, first thing I do is I go and I leave a message for him on that on the Facebook page, and yeah, that's my story.
I think this year hits a little different because it's 20 years, and for me this year, I didn't watch anything related to it. I don't think, for someone who is an empath or also maybe not be in the most mentally sound mindset, I could not deal with it this year. I know that sounds bad because obviously, like, I've never forgotten and I'll never forget, but I could not put myself there this year to go through the emotions again.
Motion detected at the front
and
Alexa, do not disturb.
I won't disturb you.
Yeah, I thought this year was going to hit more so than normal. And I do know with everything that was going on with Biden calling for the declassification of certain things, and I know that I think Fox had a special with like unheard footage about this. I think this guy was given a computer. He bought a computer or got a computer somehow, and he found all this footage or like phone calls or transcripts or something. And when he started listening to them, he knew exactly what it was about. So he gave it to somebody to splice it in a way that made sense. And I think that's what that special was. But I couldn't do it. Like, hearing those messages that the voicemails people left for their loved ones from the plane, it just absolutely shatters me. Because I can't imagine.
It's heartbreaking. It really is. Some people that never got to meet their kids.
Some kids that never got to grow up.
Yeah.
I think there was a 5-year-old from Massachusetts that didn't make it. I think she was the youngest one.
I believe so.
Or maybe, I don't know. She was 2. She was 2.
2. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
And her family was in Connecticut, and they were supposed to go meet in, I think, California, or they were in California, and they were going to meet after they went to California for a wedding. And the chilling thing about that is they were supposed to get on a plane on the 10th, and the father had a work meeting, so they rescheduled their flight for the 11th. And that's what haunts his parents, or his wife's parents. I don't remember which one, but that haunts them because... And think about the people who missed their flight that day, who were so upset or angry that they missed their flight.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you got to look at life a different way after that.
And there were people who didn't make it to work that day.
Right. Just because, like, traffic or whatever.
Yeah, they were all pissed off that they were in traffic, or they woke up late, or one guy stopped to get breakfast. Breakfast.
I think we could do a whole other show on, like, another dimension where... maybe not another dimension, but, like...
the philosophy. What the hell are you talking about?
No, like the philosophy behind, like, I guess another dimension, if you will, like your life going one way, when, like, how every single decision that you make or every single thing that happens to you determines, you know, and that's just crazy. I do think about other dimensions like that, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, they say everything happens for a reason, and you have a guardian angel. Maybe that person was supposed to be in traffic.
Right.
Maybe that guy stopped for breakfast for a reason.
I absolutely believe it.
One of the shows I watched the other night was about a group of people who escaped the tower after the plane hit. They went down the stairs from the 81st floor. They had a pregnant lady with them. They got her out.
Nice.
They got out. They managed to get out. I don't remember how many of them there were, but it was just gut-wrenching. You know, they were talking about how they were smashing vending machines, and they weren't drinking it. They were handing it to the firefighters who were going up as they were coming down.
Jeez. And
he said that one guy stopped. He says, "Are you guys okay?" And they said, "Yeah, we're good. We're going to get them out." And he says that he knows that firefighter that he talked to never made it out of the building. And he said it haunts him to this day.
Because if only he was going down when they were, he would have made it.
Yeah.
But again, that's not, you know, the call of the firefighter, you know.
When he said that the firefighters stopped, and they asked him, "What floor are you guys coming down from?" And they said 81. And he kind of just put his head down, because they knew they had a lot of climbing to do. And he says, you're not going to put it out. Just let it burn. Don't go up there. And he looked at him and he said, he said, "It's what we do." and they kept going. So,
And I don't even think it would be about putting out a fire at that point. It's about saving people and getting them out at that point.
I see. I can't answer that because I don't know. They were carrying high-rise packs up, so they were planning on
Interesting.
fighting the fire.
Well, again, they probably didn't know
And
either that
we're-
that was a terrorist attack at that time as they're going
Oh,
up.
I'm sure they knew at that point. After the second plane, well,
It depends if they were already in the building.
they were already in the building, yeah.
You know?
Because these people didn't know that the second tower had gotten hit.
I'm sure they felt it, but
Right. Well, they didn't know. They didn't know if
Right.
it was just an explosion in the building or what.
right.
And they came out, and he said they heard this noise and realized that it was people jumping from the building.
That absolutely haunts me to this day. That people did that. I mean, I get it, but to think that you thought that you weren't going to survive, or this would be the way to go, rather than, weighing your options as to which was a better way to go. That breaks me. That breaks me. I can't imagine.
So I would say, yeah, I was pretty numb for about a week after it happened. Just praying that they found any of the firefighters alive. One police officer rode the frickin' the one of the towers, one of the cell phone towers, rode it down, and he survived.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was amazing. There's a movie with Nicolas Cage,
I saw that.
World Trade Center.
Yep. I went to the theaters and saw it.
Yeah, and that's a true story.
I was crying in the first 5 minutes of that
Boy.
movie.
They rescued those officers.
Yeah.
Out of the, what was it, 4 of them, and 2 of them survived.
I don't remember. That came out, I want to say 5 years later? I actually kind of thought it was a weird time for it to come out, but I guess any movie or any documentary, or I guess anything that you would do on it, would almost feel weird,
Yeah. The one
no matter the timing, I mean.
Right. The one that really got me was it was a documentary that was done by a French film French film crew. And their job was to follow a probationary firefighter around. And it is just it's incredible to watch.
So were they following him around on the day it happened? So they have some sort of footage from that day?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that. So
It's I got the DVD, but I'll tell you what it is. And it's just an amazing documentary. It was Jules, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they were following them around, and everybody's seen the footage where they're the morning of, where the FDNY gets a call for a smell of gas, and they're out there, and they get the meters out, and they're testing the air quality, and they hear the plane, and they all look up, and they see it hit the tower.
Yeah.
That was from their documentary.
okay. Wow.
When they went, the probationary guy, I don't remember if he was off and came in or if he was there, but he was back at the station. And one of the retired chiefs came in. He says, "All right, come with me." So they go, and later on they come back to the fire department, and they're like, "Well, where is he?" And they're like, "I don't know. He was supposed to be here." So they can't find him. So they're thinking he was killed. And they pan over to his gear, which is sitting on the floor. And I'll never forget this. the number on his shield, on his helmet, was 553. And the reason why I'll never forget that is because that was my employee number at American Ambulance.
Oh, wow.
553.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just, I mean, it blew me away. Completely blew me away. And later on, he ended up coming back. He walked in, and they were all happy to see him. But one member of the film crew was actually in the tower when it came down.
Jeez.
Or next to the first one came down, he was in the next one. And the footage is just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And they were with Father Mike Judge. Well, actually, Father Mike Judge was with them when they went over. He was trying to help people, too. He didn't make it out alive. So they have footage of them carrying him out of the building. Not trying to see first because they couldn't see anything. They were choking. The dust, and it was just unbelievable. But the biggest thing I remember about 9/11 was afterwards.
I was just going to say that.
When this country came together as one. And not only this country.
Other countries.
Other countries. Countries that we've been, I don't want to say at war with, because we weren't at war at the time, but countries that we didn't see eye to eye with, coming forward and helping.
And I 100% am going to talk about Gander's role in 9/11 as well in a few minutes, but we've never felt that. I've never felt that since, the coming weeks after 9/11. I have never seen, if anything, it is more divisive now than ever. And we really need that sense of togetherness again.
The only other time I saw something similar was after the Boston Marathon bombing.
Right, and I couldn't even. It's not even comparable.
Right.
Because while a lot of people felt for it, it wasn't as on a large scale. Not even just the attack, but I mean afterwards.
Yep.
But the way everybody came together, there was no hate. It was just what can we do? Everybody wanted to help. Everybody wanted to help.
Yep. Absolutely. It was incredible.
Yep. So with that, I do want to talk about how Newfoundland, how they had a role in 9/11. So when the U.S. had shut down their airspace, because they made a call, I don't know how they did it, but they made a call out to all the pilots that were flying at the time, and they basically said, yo, we are shutting down the airspace in the U.S. You need to divert your planes. And all of the planes that were diverted out of, that could not come in, 75 were diverted to Newfoundland and Labrador. And 38 of those planes landed in Gander. And I don't remember how many. I want to say it was maybe 90 passengers out of those 38 planes. They could not get off the plane. Nobody knew anything about anything. Even the pilots didn't know anything about anything. So I think they were maybe on the plane for 12, 24 hours, maybe even longer. And all of these people in this little town of Gander were giving them clothes. They literally took these passengers into their home, made them dinner, washed their clothes, gave them clothes, let them sleep. anything that they needed to do. If they needed, they were letting them have their like call from their phones. I mean, anything. This town ended up coming together for all of these people who were from all over the world. And one couple, so they weren't even a couple, so this one person asked if this cot, I guess they were staged in some sort of area.
Yep.
And this one guy or girl asked if the cot next to them was taken, and they said no, so they ended up staying on the cot next to each other. And long story short, they actually ended up falling in love from this thing. And that is actually the plot for Come From Away, which is a Broadway musical. But that was a true story. And I've actually been to Gander, and they have a huge museum there dedicated to everything that happened. And it is crazy. They have an actual beam from 9/11 in their museum or memorial. And the most haunting thing from that place is they have these headphones set up, and you put on the headphones, and all you hear is the dialogue between the pilots and I don't know who would say anything from the U.S., but all of the pilots talking to each other. Hey, you need to divert. The U.S. airspace is closed. Like, you know, the official dialogue between those people. And then also from Gander's airport to all the planes that are coming in. Hey, this is flight whatever. We're coming in from wherever. And I don't know. That was so eerie to me listening to that. Like, and I think they set the stage for that too by putting on the headphones, and you can't hear anything else but that.
Well, I remember watching the radar, and
yep, they have a screen there too.
It went from all of these planes over the United States to nothing. And you know, I don't want people to forget that. Yeah, we talk about the towers and all of that, but there were others. There was the Pentagon.
Hello, Mark.
And then there was flight, was it 83 or 93? 83.
83,
right?
I think, yeah.
That went down in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And
then D.C.
That's what I said. Pentagon.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
And, I mean, a lot of people lost their lives there, too. And we can't forget about that. And who knows where that second plane would have hit had Beamer and the rest of the passengers not overthrown the terrorists and crashed the plane.
Yeah. And the other thing that is actually kind of neat is at the museum, they actually have a whole bunch of like postcards that people still to this day connect with the families and the people that they had met in Gander for the role that they did play. So they still get constant letters and thank you cards, and it's just a sweet story. And I'm sure that I want to say there was like 238 planes that were diverted to Canadian airports. So it's not even just Gander. I'd love to know the other airports and everything that they were diverted to, but other people, not even just Americans, were helping out Americans. And you know, maybe I'm a little biased because all of my family is from Canada, or most of it, but I love the support from other countries that we had gotten.
Sure. Absolutely.
Mark, do you have any stories about where you were or your thoughts on that day? You can call or you can comment 860-626-5193.
Which Dunkin' Donuts did you go to?
on begins with a C Street.
Coleman Street?
Coleman Street, yeah, in New London.
All right, you know
no,
what?
Waterford.
All right, I just want to tell the Dunkin' Donuts on Coleman Street in Waterford, you're full of shit. My coffee's discontinued. You pulled that one out of your ass, didn't you? And you just didn't feel like brewing it.
I think that all the Dunkins, though, might get different things. Like,
no, it's universal.
I don't know about that.
Yep, it's a franchise. It's universal.
Yes, but each person that owns it, like, owns a set amount, and they make the decisions.
Right, but you can't. The main stuff has to stay the main stuff.
Oh. Well, that's just what they told me, and I do feel bad. They had 2 employees.
Bet you they had that pumpkin spice shit, though, didn't they?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't ask because I didn't order it, so. But Dunkin' Donuts, like, aside from that, like, those poor people that were, like, just 2 of them were working. From start to finish, 22 minutes. Why I sat in that line, I have no idea, because I kept thinking, oh, don't worry, it'll move along. Like, maybe someone had, like, a big order or something. And this speaks to my character and my how do you say it? I'm naivety or whatever it would be. But I just kept thinking, oh, there's just a big order. And then by the time, I felt like I was pot committed by the time I was in there for 12 minutes. So I was like, well, it can't be much longer, could it? Oh, no, it was 10 more minutes longer.
Yeah.
But it's not. What are you doing to your employees? Because Waterford, New London, Niantic, Colchester, Salem, these are just the 6 Dunkins that I have personally been to. Your establishments where you've had to shut down because you don't have enough employees.
Add Montville to the list.
Okay, Montville. Okay, what is going on, Dunkin'?
It's not Dunkin'. It's not Dunkin' at all.
It could be Dunkin'.
It's just because it happens to be where you're going. But this is going to fall into your beer run.
Yeah, we can do it a little early. That's fine.
Because these douchebags, they want to sit home and collect and not freaking go out and work. Well, you know what? That whole extra money's gone. Now you got to get your asses out and get a job. But they're not. Nobody wants to work.
Nobody wants to work.
Why do you think I'm working so much? I am the only security person at Lansdowne right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nobody wants to work. This country has become lazy.
Okay. So CJ says Jimmy gets extremely weird if you mess with his coffee. Mark says lazy ass people not wanting to work. And so I don't know if it's Elise or Alice, but just said, I just wanted to get my family together, went to the kids' schools and got them released. They asked us to take the classmates of April's with us because her dad worked at the Pentagon and mom didn't. She wanted to leave to pick her up. So that's her, story as for 9/11.
Everybody knows not to mess with my coffee.
Yeah. I mean, I think as a general rule, you should never mess with anybody's coffee because I know we're on going back and forth between two different topics, but
well, you know what? I was hoping Jocelyn would be on today. She was actually at the Pentagon.
The day it happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I can't even imagine. And it's so crazy that everybody has their own unique story about that day too. Like I said, we all know what we were doing, but while it's along the same lines, everybody has someone that they do know that was there, how it personally affected them, and it's crazy. And again, how everybody came together afterwards. Mm-hmm. Is mind-boggling, and I so wish that America could get their shit together and come together again. Like, why did it take a terrorist attack?
You said shit.
You said it first, so then I thought that was permission.
Oh, it is. I just get a kick out of it. Yeah. Yep. Nope. Now we're back to liberal ridiculousness. And speaking of which, I couldn't stop laughing. Auburn University had a football game the other day. Biden was at the football game. Now, I think you've got like 100,000 people in that stadium. That entire stadium was chanting F Joe Biden.
Wow. That's rude.
And they showed they put the camera on him, and I mean, he's got like his head down. It looked like he was gonna cry. I was dying. I was laughing.
Mark commented on YouTube and said, "What I will say is the Afghan people are amazing and full of life. They are so appreciative to be here, and I sincerely hope people will finally stop judging them based upon what a terrorist organization did."
True.
And I wholeheartedly agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think the backlash, like, that is one thing that did happen after 9/11.
Yes.
The ignorance of some people, of a lot of people, you know, judging people based on their ethnicity just because of the terrorist organization that orchestrated 9/11.
Yeah, there was a lot of violence towards them, and people just don't understand. You have, basically, you have three different sects out in Afghanistan. You have the different tribes. You have the Taliban, and you have Al Qaeda. Mm-hmm. All three are completely different. Mm-hmm. The Taliban, believe it or not, they're probably the worst. They won't attack us, but what they do to their own people is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. I mean, you want to talk about crimes against humanity? Marrying off 12-year-old girls, killing women if they show their face, killing women if they get a job or get an education. And that's what we were out there to stop. And we did. We absolutely did. Well, I'll tell you what, when Trump was president, you didn't see any terrorist attacks. Because they knew if they did something stupid, he was going to light their ass up. And now first of all, we completely effed up that extraction.
I think that was dumb.
We completely effed that up.
Yeah.
All right, you should have had the special forces, whether it was the SEALs, the Army Rangers, or a combination of all of them, should have been there to escort these people out and not have happen what happened. If you had to do it in the middle of the night, we've done it before. We've absolutely done it before. This was such a shit show and so piss poorly done. And I was listening to Trump the other day. He came to New York on 9/11, and it was unbelievable. You want to talk about a standing ovation and people going nuts? Between the fire department, the police department, all the people on the street, it was just unbelievable. And he talked about what we left behind over there. We've left tanks, planes, helicopters, freaking sniper rifles, ammunition. We just left it there. Our uniforms. How stupid was that? They showed a picture the other day of Afghans wearing United States military outfits, standing on a U.S. Humvee, holding U.S. weapons.
Yikes.
Why, for the love of Christ, did we just arm our enemies? And if we have to go back there, how the fuck are you going to tell the difference between them and us?
You swore.
You're going to I'm getting heated. You're going to have Taliban wearing American service uniforms, driving American service vehicles. You see an American tank coming, you're going to think they're on our side. Well, you're not going to tell now. And it was funny. During the dipshit at a press conference the other day, Biden, and he says, well, what difference does it make that we left planes and helicopters behind? They don't have anybody to fly it. It's somebody from, I don't know if it was somebody from the press or just somebody was there, says, well, they flew 2 planes into the Trade Center and 1 into the Pentagon. And they're right. They're absolutely right.
That's messed up.
We've just given them the okay to basically do whatever they want to do. And not only do they have all of that stuff right now, but now they have the technology to build more. Everything's right there for them. We gave them the blueprint to basically kick our ass.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. I can't wrap my head around it. It makes no sense whatsoever why we would do something like that.
20 years later.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to blow it up, blow it up.
Mark said Biden is A and O times 2. He would definitely be trauma alert to the ED under any circumstance. I am processing them at Fort McCoy, and they are such lovely people, and it's sad to see what happened.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
What's ED?
Emergency department.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe, okay. I thought emergency room, but yeah, okay.
They... and then again, Biden was talking the other day, and I don't know if the teleprompter broke or if he just went off. They ended up shutting it off because he went off on his own, and the stuff he was saying was like, wow. So we're going to be in for a rough few years. We really are going to be in for a rough few years.
Guys, YouTube's where it's at. That's where all the comments are coming in. So
yeah, I've got no comments on Facebook.
No, just mine.
Okay, I'm good
just
with that.
Mine.
Yeah, hey.
We gotta move to Facebook. We have to move to YouTube anyways, like fully, because Facebook is just becoming crazy.
Oh my God.
How many of y'all have been in jail? I mean, my dad has been. Granted, my dad sometimes deserves it, but he's been in jail like a zillion times. He's gonna go like face the board right now and like he's just making silly jokes, but some of the things that people are getting in jail for, Facebook jail, it's just ridiculous.
You want to talk about the Facebook Nazis? I'm going to give you a funny story.
Keith could go all day on this.
A friend of mine that lives in California, he's very conservative. So he made a post. And the first post was bashing the right and this and that and whatever. He made another post. Same exact thing. Only bashing the left. Guess which one got flagged? The one bashing the left. The one bashing the right was fine. Didn't get flagged, didn't get in trouble for it. But when he bashed the left, he got flagged for it.
LOL.
What is that? Yeah, exactly. What does that tell you right there? They are, I mean, the commie bastards, I swear to God.
Can't even, like, post a joke anymore. You can't even say a joke anymore.
No.
Canceled.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. I mean, I've already spoken till I was blue in the face about cancel culture. It's extremely toxic and...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't get me started on cancel
don't even
culture.
get me started on cancel culture. But you just can't... I feel like society's just going to turn into a bunch of fake people because everyone's going to be so scared to say what they mean or you know.
It's already like that. You cannot speak your mind anymore because people are triggered to levels that are psychotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sums it up.
That is a perfect way to put it. Psychotic meltdown. Freaking absolutely ridiculous.
It is now socially unacceptable to speak your mind as a freedom-loving American.
It doesn't even... honestly, it does not matter what side of the political scale you fall on. God forbid you have an opinion of someone different than you, or, you know, with a differing opinion, like, you will be canceled somehow, some way, somehow you will be canceled.
You cannot have a civil conversation without it turning into name-calling, threatening. It's beyond ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, that's because left-wing liberals over-medicate.
I don't...
On suppositories. There's just too many things up there, you know? They just fly over your head.
Thank you for your opinion, Keith.
No.
Now back to NPR.
We're better than NPR. Just kidding. Not really, but...
Welcome to NPR Hour. Today we discuss how many items are stuffed up your rear.
By the way, can I just tell you that my Giants suck?
Yeah, they're very predictable, and they always will be predictable, and that's what my dad says.
Yeah.
He's a Giants fan, and he hates them.
Oh, yeah, they're predictable.
It's a team you love to hate?
But maybe going to freaking...
Yeah. But... Yeah. I was looking at YouTube comments. I gotta check the Facebook comments.
There are no Facebook comments.
I know. I'm
looking at Facebook. There's no comments. They're afraid they're going to get banned.
Yeah.
I can't comment.
That's why YouTube's where it's at, guys. I love that you guys all came back to YouTube. I love it.
You know what we need?
Oh, but don't talk about COVID-19 on YouTube because you'll get a 1-week ban.
Oh.
On YouTube?
Yeah. A famous commenter. I don't have the article in front of me, but there's this guy. He's got his blue check mark on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. Mm-hmm. And he's been discussing his views of COVID-19.
Uh-huh.
And YouTube got all upset and they banned him from broadcasting live for a week.
Wow.
You can Google it.
Here's the thing, which I don't get, and I understand we're in a pandemic, and not that we want false information out there, but where were people stopping all this misinformation on the internet before? Like, why all of a sudden, like, isn't that what the internet's for? Like, you know, like when people are like, where'd you find that? The internet? Like, because people, no, because like people, it was like an insult because...
Yep.
Like, honestly, anything you can think of is on the internet. Of course there's misinformation, but where were people stopping all of this beforehand? Now, why are people... It is your right as an American to say stupid shit. Do I agree that you should say it? No, but I agree that you have the freedom to do it.
It's called your First Amendment
in the day
right.
Before the internet, we used to all hang out in the woods, drink beer, and enjoy a campfire, and talk amongst each other and share our conspiracy theories. And there was no hallway monitor standing in between all of us to go, "Hey, shut up! You can't say that."
Okay, I'm just going to say that when I was hanging out in the woods with a campfire drinking beer, I did not discuss politics. That is the last thing that was discussed.
Yeah, but my point is why, like, people are getting banned? Like, okay, Trump getting, I mean, whether I dislike him or not like him, like, whatever. They took him off of a platform or multiple platforms. Mm-hmm. I understand that those platforms themselves can make that decision, and guess what? They have the freedom to do so. But why are people being silenced or getting shut down when there's all this misinformation on the internet anyways, before COVID was a thing?
Mm-hmm. And see, the biggest thing with that is Trump was actually the first president with a set of cojones who called these people out on their bullshit, and they didn't like it. So what do? We're going to ban you.
Hey, I got some reality for you.
I doubt it.
Niantic, Connecticut. You know the boardwalk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where people just go out to enjoy the view of the ocean and
Yeah.
I've been there multiple times.
look at all the names on the benches of all the benches that have been dedicated to people.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Well, apparently, you can be a socialist and set up a table and sit on the boardwalk in Niantic, Connecticut, and invite people to socialism.
What in the blue hell are you talking about?
Wasn't there like a table at the end of one of the on the other end by where they were like? You can feel free to elaborate, but I think I know what you're talking about.
It was on a Facebook group called Niantic Beach Bums, and
Well, there you go.
so that's what I'm saying. People are getting crazy. Like, not only can you get moderated online like there's no tomorrow, and get shushed up and have your channel deleted, your page deleted, and everything else removed from the internet, but it's okay to go and sit on a public sidewalk and invite people to socialism. I mean, it's just a small example about how crazy things are getting.
Hey, my point is, if people want to go do that, fine. If people want to make a post about aliens coming from another planet and abducting our children, fine. No one says it has to be true.
But it's not
the internet.
It's not okay to dress in a clown uniform and wander the streets of New London because you'll be arrested. So, do you see the problem?
I guess I'm failing to see how they relate to each other. But
You know, and
if that's your prerogative, if you want to wear a clown suit. My point is all these people getting shut down and silenced or whatever, nobody said what's on the internet is true. We all know that.
Last Halloween, there were multiple calls for a person dressed in a clown costume on Bank Street in
that was
London.
2 Halloweens ago.
Who calls the police for someone wearing a clown outfit? That's what I'm talking about. Society isn't going mad. It has gone mad.
There was a lot more to that than just dressing in clown outfits.
Oh, all right.
They were doing things.
Oh.
They were terrorizing people and robbing people.
Oh, well, that's
and-
different. So,
yeah.
like The Purge? No, not really, but...
Kinda, yeah. Well, they weren't killing people, but speaking of misinformation, I wished this was misinformation, but it's 100% true. Norm Macdonald, actor, comedian. A lot of people remember him from Saturday Night Live. Passed away today. And that one was really sad. He was a great guy. I had the pleasure of meeting him, and really nice guy. And yep,
It's a guy, yeah.
Norm Macdonald did pass away today. And that's another one of the thing of the misinformation is they call it the celebrity death hoax. And who does that?
Yeah, that's
who does that?
yeah.
We're going to start a rumor that Vin Diesel died, or we're going to start a rumor that Sylvester Stallone died.
Like, think of their family. Come
Right?
on.
I forgot who it was. Said that he had to go and check the internet to make sure he was still alive.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about, because there was a rumor like every other day that he died.
Oh, it was Thor. What's his name? Chris Hemsworth.
Oh no, I'm talking about before him.
Oh.
Also, like, one was a wrestler. He had to keep checking. I think it was the Hulk, or like there was random. There's a couple celebrities that joke that they have to keep checking, like that they're to see if they're alive. I love celebrities that come back at it funny, like, oh, last time I checked, I'm still here, but thanks for the concern. Or
Yeah.
But I mean, think about their families hearing about that. You know,
Yep.
it's crazy.
Total crap. Total crap.
But again,
It's on the internet. It must be true.
exactly my point. Do I agree with misinformation? Absolutely not. But I agree with your right to post whatever the hell you want to post. It's your fault, as it doesn't even have to be an American. It is your fault as an individual, whether you do or don't do your research. Whether you get your information from a valid source or whether you get your information from Joe Schmo on the internet.
Well,
So that is on you as an individual, not the person who's posting it.
did you hear about Apple?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, I cannot remember what the program is called, but it originated in Israel, and they were able to hack your iPhones, your Apple Watches, and your MacBooks without you even having to click on anything.
Oh, cool. Cool.
They released an emergency update yesterday, which I never got. I didn't get an emergency
I
update.
don't think I did either.
To prevent them from hacking into your information.
Well, let me check that real quick.
I have it.
You got the update?
Apple issues emergency security updates to close a spyware flaw. Researchers at Citizens Lab found that NSO Group in Israel,
That's it, NSO.
spyware company, had infected Apple products without so much as a click.
You don't have to open your phone. You don't have to click on anything. They can hack into your shit and.
Well, so I have an update, iOS 14.8. This update provides important security updates
Well,
and
there
is
you go.
recommended for all users. But I didn't know that until you guys said something. It's not like it automatically...
No.
Downloaded.
No, it's all over the news. You got to. I mean, mine automatically updates.
Well, iPhone users are a part of a cult anyhow, so whatever.
Whatever.
won't even let...
You're just jealous.
Maybe it did do it. Because I do have
maybe.
automatic updates, but it says download and install, but I can't. So I think maybe that means I have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
14.
But I mean, think about that. These people can get all your information, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to turn your phone on. You don't have to click on
I
anything.
don't have 14.8. Sorry.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I got my Apple Watch on right now. Hell, friggin' Mossad may be listening to us.
You know what's funny? On my way here, I took a different way, and I saw something called Mossad. I don't know what it was, but I was like, wait, that reminds me of,
NCIS.
And NCIS, but also the Blacklist.
I've never seen the Blacklist.
Oh, you gotta watch the Blacklist. It's so good. If you like NCIS, I mean Spader.
Well,
Spader is so good.
There's a show that's coming out that I want to see. It's like this giant sinkhole opens up in L.A. And they fall through it, and they end up in like this other time and everything. It looks pretty good.
That is definitely something I would watch.
And you know what time it is?
It's time for the beer run.
B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run. All you need is a 10 and a 5 or a car and a key and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-M, beer run.
All right, so we've already touched upon the beer run today. But
Now
y'all lazy people need to work.
You gonna get me
Okay?
going?
And feel free to join me on this one. That is fine. It could be a double beer run.
Oh yeah.
But we could get some gym and beer together. That's got to be like some sort of cocktail, right? Anyways, at least in Connecticut, I know this has been a problem because I don't know how other states have their
Oh, it's
economic
everywhere.
stimulus, whatever. But with coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever, people were getting paid to stay home during the virus. Understandable for some
The
who needed
extra
to stay home.
$300, extra $300 a week on top of what they were getting.
Right. But they were doing nothing to look into the people who were offered to come back to work by their employer, or looking into people who are not looking into jobs. So these people are sitting home making this money even though they were offered to come back. Like, you know, like after the 2-week, month, however long these works shut
Right.
down for.
They're making more money than those of us that are actually working.
That's what I'm saying. Okay? So, y'all need to go back to work. These Dunkin' Donuts are closing down. Well, like actually closing down, not like shutting down like forever, but
They closed
they're
the lobby
closing
because
down.
there's nobody to work.
Nobody can work. And like I know this is a first world problem, but y'all cannot get between me and my coffee in the morning.
Right, you mess with my coffee and lattes donuts, there's gonna be a bear claw in your future. It's the same thing at the casino. There are jobs. Every department in the casino is freaking hiring. They're using arena security right now to supplement the regular security because they don't have enough people. And then this guy put a comment on the Montville Community Forum the other day. Need a job, put applications in everywhere. Who's hiring?
Everyone?
I commented. My comment said literally everybody. You cannot drive through the goddamn town without seeing a help wanted sign.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me this shit that you put applications in everywhere, because guess what? No, you didn't.
But I want to touch upon something else, though.
Sure.
While some of y'all are lazy, I do want to say it is not 100% their fault. It is the way that the state is letting them get away with it.
Roger.
So, in some ways, I can't blame these people for wanting a free ride. If you're sitting here and you have the option to work 35 to 40 hours a week or part-time, whatever, to get paid $700, or you can sit home and get $1,000 or $700, what are you going to choose? And I can't
Yep.
blame those people.
Nope.
There are lazy people who just, want a free ride.
Mm-hmm.
But while there are lazy people, you have to blame the way that these policies were written. So, come on, let's. I
And the other thing that I think is complete horseshit is for the, we talk about essential employees, how important they are, how this and that, but they don't get a freaking thing. How about giving bonuses to the essential employees who've been busting their ass during COVID instead of the people who are sitting home doing nothing during COVID? Mm-hmm. I think they deserve something.
I will say my job did give us a COVID bonus. Taxed the shit out of it, but we got a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And that's great, but a lot of them don't.
No, I agree. And that's only because I worked for the government. But
You've got nurses and doctors and EMTs and so on and so forth that are putting their lives on the line to save yours. How many nurses have died from contracting COVID?
mm-hmm.
Do something for them.
Exactly. I mean, while they signed up for this, they deserve all the admiration, and just not even admiration. They deserve so much more than what they are given right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And I've witnessed it firsthand, and I cannot tell you how much these nurses, doctors, anyone that's essential, they need a break.
Right. I mean,
Give
look
them
at
a vacation.
Your mother's a pandemic nurse. How many hours a week is she putting in?
Yo, when it first happened, like, I just slid food in front of her because, like, Mom, it's time to eat. Like, you haven't eaten. You're working. Eat. Like, and that was her working at home. I can't imagine people actually dealing with patients. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody had their roles in this pandemic for all these essential workers. And they just... I mean, and then all these short-staffed places are running on fumes because the morale is going down because the people that are left are picking up what these people aren't doing. And
yeah, they're doing the work of 2 or 3 people.
And then people are quitting, and so there leaves more jobs, and then people don't want to take those jobs, and it's awful out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful out there.
I don't mind. I don't mind hard work. I don't mind working at all. But there comes a point where, if we want to do more, like we want to open the back up so we can have bands, can't do it with just me. We need at least 2 more people.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, it's that time already. Wow. Time went by today.
Yeah.
Today's my only day off. Back to work tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to more football this weekend, and just relaxing. That's all I want to do.
Yes.
Relax. Watch football all weekend. I don't even have a voice anymore. My voice is I'm almost shot.
Same, but that's because I'm sick. It's not COVID. I just had COVID. It's fine.
I was gonna say you already had it.
I already had it just like a month ago. Maybe a month and a half. It's fine. I don't have COVID.
To all my other peeps, Alyssa, proud of you. Love you. Jaleesa, proud of you. Love you. Kenzie, Izzy, Jamie, Ollie, all of you guys, love you. And that's it for this week. So, we may be back next week.
I think so.
I hope. Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
COVID is just...
COVID, work, those things there.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we'll be back next week.
Yep.
But until then, get your vaccine. Let's start living again. And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Have a great night, guys.
Mic's down.